This video poster presents a book about Australasian tektites. It contains 42 chapters, as well as a dictionary and a reference list. After watching each video poster, you can download relevant chapters for detailed readings, using the link in the description below. Impact on Earth by a celestial body, a meteor, or a comet, is the likely event that created the Australasian tektite strewn field. The size of the strewn field, from southern China to Tasmania, and from south of Japan to Madagascar, suggests that a large 32 to 114 kilometers in diameter, and more than 3 kilometers deep crater should have formed, somewhere in Southeast Asia. Such a crater has never been found, despite intensive geological mapping and oil explorations. A comet impact would create a fireball, and irradiate an area from the center to the horizon, except where radiation would be blocked by mountains. The image shows a viewshed from 60 kilometers altitude, with center at the Yellow Star, in Southeast Asia. Oblique impacts can create elliptical craters, if the impact angle is below 12 degrees. The impact can be divided into 3 stages, each having characteristic vertical ejecta patterns. 1. An impact stage, 2. An excavation stage, and 3. A later stage. The impact stage creates a crater, a fireball radiating to the view shed horizon, and earthquakes moving outwards at 5 kilometers per second. In stage 2, the excavation takes place, and material at the front end is expelled forwards at almost the same speed as the impactor. This would have created the Australian tektites, expelled above the atmosphere, and re-entering over Australia and Tasmania. The temperature can here be very high, above 10,000 degrees Celsius. In stage 3, a large ejecta curtain is ploughed out sidewards at a lower speed, creating a transient crater. This stage may take place within few minutes after stage 1, and create the other larger splash-form tektites, some carried all the way to the Philippines, by above hurricane winds. Finally, this transient crater collapses into the final crater. The result was a butterfly-formed ejecta, covering more than 10% of the Earth's surface, and probably somehow send microtektites all the way to Antarctica. Using Earth Impact Effects program to model an oblique 5 degrees impact, by a 4-kilometer diameter comet, into sedimentary rocks, gives a final crater diameter of 20.3 kilometers, and an irradiation radius of 814 kilometers. The size and composition of the impactor is unknown and the results therefore only indicative. Such an impact would create high-pressure polymorphs of different minerals, especially quartz. These polymorphs can survive in stability zones around the crater. The brown line shows the stability zone for rhyodite, and the blue line the stability zone for coesite. The above hurricane winds would pick up such grains and bombard everything in the vicinity. This graph shows the difference between a ballistic ejecta model and an atmosphere interaction model. In the atmosphere interaction model, the hot atmosphere carries ejecta far away and for a long time suspends smaller fragments, smaller size frequency distribution. Even small fragment could reach the Philippines. The impact created 2 distinct tektites, splash-form and Muong Nong tektites. Apart from their ages, they differ in more than 20 parameters. This indicates that their creation was very different. The splash forms were probably created by a fluid ejecta in the excavation stages, while the Muong Nong tektites were heated on the ground by hot ejecta. This is supported by the chemical composition of Muong Nong tektites, similar to the clay pool sediments, and their similar morphology. This can also explain how their layering was preserved, how vents were created and why downhill flow and flattening flow was always parallel to the layering. It also explains that comminuted quartz is attached to tektites all over Southeast Asia.